Author's note. This video is my review of The Matrix Resurrections, based on The Matrix by the Wachowskis, directed by Lana Wachowski, published by Warner Brothers, Village Roadshow Pictures, and Venus Castina Productions, originally available on HBO Max on December 22nd, 2021, starring Keanu Reeves, CArrie-Anne Moss, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Jessica Henwick, Priyanka Chopra Jones, Jada Pinkett Smith, Neil Patrick Harris, and Jonathan Groff as Smith. Rated R.
I'm sure you can understand why our beloved parent company, Warner Brothers, has decided to make a sequel to the trilogy.
What?
Folks, I was going to do a review of the Matrix Trilogy, but my priorities changed, and I wanted to catch this film before it disappeared from HBO Max temporarily. Thank goodness I did, because it was actually a fun film despite its flaws. 60 years have passed since the events of the Matrix Revolution. Neo, who was supposed to be dead, finds himself living in his former pre-red-pilled life. But once he's pulled back out of the Matrix, he must fight to bring back Trinity once more.
Nothing comforts anxiety like little nostalgia.
I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and I know a lot of you are going to say this. The first part of the film felt like a retread of the first Matrix film, from Neo leaving the Matrix to his martial arts fight with Morpheus. I thought to myself, why take a cue from Star Wars to Force Awakens and retread on nostalgia like this? Thankfully, it does change later on in the film, though on the flip side, poking fun at itself for being a sequel does say a lot.
It's so easy to forget how much noise the Matrix pumps into your head until you unplug.
However, once we emerge into the real world, we find that there have been a lot of changes that occurred from the last 60 years. A world that has changed for the better thanks to a mutual partnership between the humans and the machines, even in spite of the fact that it's still a crapsack world. This makes me wonder why there isn't a Matrix animated series that takes place between Revolution and Resurrection. So much lore that could be fleshed out for anyone who's a fan of the Matrix or who's new to it. Hey, if it worked for Star Wars, it can work for this franchise.
Mr. Anderson!
The one thing I also recall about this film was how much of a shell of his former self Neo was, even compared to the former Agent Smith. A broken man who lost a lot of what he used to be. While the action scenes in this film pale in comparison to how I saw it in the original Matrix, it does show that there's some fight left in Neo, as well as the rivalry between him and Agent Smith. And by the way, Jonathan Groff is no Hugo Weaving, but he can fit the character of Smith pretty good. On a side note, I was surprised to learn the fate of Morpheus in this film. I'm not saying anything, but you need to watch it just to see what it is.
I hate lying. I do. It exhausts me.
I actually got some good vibes from the new characters that filled the movie, especially the new crew that Neo got to work with. One character that I liked was Bugs, who along with Levy, Berg, and Sequoia proved a worthy ally towards Neo in getting him and Trinity back together, though props to Sequoia to being half human and half machine. The other new character is the villain, the Analysis, just for his obsession with human emotions, how he can give Neo a run for his Bitcoin, and just for being creepy awesome. See? This is why we need a Matrix animated series. HBO, Warner Brothers, could you please make one?
What point?
The choice is an illusion.
There are some bugs in the Matrix Resurrections, and I apologize for calling it Resurrection and not Resurrections. But it does feel like it closes some gaps that the Matrix Trilogy left behind, and it does feel like a worthy addition to the Matrix legacy. And don't worry, it will come back to HBO Max in the future, like the other HBO Max films I reviewed last year. By the way folks, the review of the Matrix Trilogy is coming up, so stay tuned for real.